Special good morning to our listeners, those of you via Classic Radio 105.5, 105.9, those of you who are viewing us this morning, whether you're on Channel 7, Channel 11 or Channels 20, good morning. Those of you via our social media platforms, whether you're on the Facebook page, YouTube channels, good morning and welcome. You know, it's Thursday, the 21st of December. We're counting down the days before D-Day, Christmas Day. Good morning to my, of course, officer with me this morning. Officer, I always mix up Constable and Corporal, you know.
Yes, Corporal.
Corporal. All right. Corporal Sherwin, good morning to you this morning. And welcome. Nice to have you back. Haven't seen you around for a wee bit, but nice to have you on the program this morning. Welcome.
Yes, welcome to you and good morning to your listeners and viewers. I hope that this morning's session would be a very useful one to you as we head into the peak of the Christmas season.
All right. And it's a Utah season, and you know, for the last couple of weeks we've been having various departments popping in and speaking to a viewing and listening audience. Safety is of utmost importance around this time of the year. You know, sometimes we individuals, become complacent, especially places of business, their homes, for their personal self, also a bit of complacency in terms of what they do. So we're here this morning to talk about safety, give a lot of guidelines in terms of how you could manage things around your home in terms of your personal possessions and so forth. That we're going to speak a whole lot this morning. Let's get into the conversation of safety. It's you can't talk about safety too much. You understand? And sometimes it doesn't get something to the brain as quick as you may want it to for some individuals, you understand, and you may have to say it multiple times to really get that information in. Or what are some of these safety tips that you may want to, of course, throw out to our listening and viewing audience this morning?
Yes, so the police could never become wary of, sharing information with our citizens and potential citizens, as you said.
I agree.
It's our duty really to prevent crime, first and foremost. And, we are very proactive in terms of doing that. What causes crime sometimes is our failure to do things that we can do to protect ourselves and our property. And so this morning we thought it absolutely necessary to share information generally as to how one can go about, making their home, themselves and the property a bit more safe during this season. As we know, last week on your program, Officer Victor, quite clearly explained the factors that contribute to a crime, and he clearly mentioned that the key factor that we can control is removing the opportunity for that crime to be committed. Yes, the perpetrators would always have the desire, and most times they do have the ability to commit the crime. But what we can remove is the opportunity. And to start with, one of the things that affect our safety generally around this time of the year, or most times during our festive seasons, is alcohol. Not just alcohol, but the abuse of alcohol. The consumption of too much alcohol, and too much, I say too much and I don't say a volume, because different individuals have capacities, but in law we do have a prescribed volume or percentage that we say is above the limit.
Because I was going to ask you how much is too much. Sometimes someone will ask you that question, how much is too much?
Right. So when by the time you recognize you have too much, you're already drunk, because that time you may start speaking, you're blurry, you might start seeing, your vision might be impaired and so on. And by that time, you recognize that you're not in a position to make decisions or proper, judgment as you would when your head is sober. And, that can lead to two things. That can lead to one, either you becoming a victim of a crime.
Yes.
Or two, you can become a perpetrator of a crime. So, normally, if you don't consume alcohol, you would have that level head.
You have a better judgment in terms of what you do and say.
You would be vigilant and so on.
Yes.
And then, if you consume too much, then you drop your guard, and you might be more vulnerable to being a victim of a crime. For the females, most times, they become more vulnerable to sexual offenses, to becoming a victim of a sexual offense. Or, most times, men, when they drink, they become sort of aggressive. And they get involved in a number of things like fights, and even sometimes wanting to attack ladies sexually. The driving again around the Christmas, they drink and they tend to speed and so on, lose control of vehicles, run into walls and damage individuals. Not only yourself can be damaged, but you can also damage innocent pedestrians and property. A lot of times we recognize that for the Christmas, Boxing Day, Christmas morning, a lot of vehicles run off on the side of the road, or run into properties and so on. And, we want to take this opportunity to advise our viewers and listeners to drink moderately. And if you're going out to a fete, have a designated driver. You might be going to a show. Take, for instance, the big event at the stadium on Saturday. You might be going to that event. 6 persons from one community going to the event. You have 6 vehicles, but it's not necessary that you go with 6 vehicles, because most people might tend to want to indulge in drinking, so you carpool,
All right.
And that too can help. Again, just getting away from the alcohol and getting more into some of the personal safety again. You're going to the event, so you might want to walk with some cash. You be advised that you do not walk with large sums of cash. That or if you're walking with cash, you place your cash in separate locations, so that if somebody wants to steal from you, that they don't go with all your cash, or it's more difficult for them to.
If you just wise up and say that I think I'm going to spend $100 for the night, just a rough figure, walk with $100 for the night.
Exactly. Yes. Again, we becoming so so modern, and it's digital cash we're dealing with these days. Yeah. A lot of times you don't even need the money, actual money in your possession. So you walk with your card. You go into the teller. You know that you use a teller that is well lit. You withdraw only the amount of cash that you might be needing for that period. try, if you go into the teller in the night, have someone go along with you.
Kind of being aware of your surroundings a wee bit. Yes.
Of course, you have to look around and so on. Do not expose large sums of cash in the public, because that too, tends to attract someone. As we say, you want to remove the opportunity. If someone doesn't know you have something, and that goes generally, for your household items, that goes generally. If someone doesn't know that you have something, then they might be less likely to attack you. So, for instance, you purchase your brand new flat screen television, and you take the box and you put it right in front of your door or the truck to pick up. You have a new bicycle, you put it in the veranda. You're not at home during the day, you don't have cameras, your yard is not fenced, you don't have a bad dog, and so it's an easy target for someone wanting to commit a crime. So what we advise is that you do not expose those things. A lot of people, when they get something new, a piece of jewelry, a new television set, they put it up on social media, and everybody see it. So you the good people see, and the persons wanting to commit crime.
Sometimes folks want to go with the trend. You understand?
And the trend is not always the best. Yeah,
so true.
Again, we advise around this time that you know who you permit into your property, into your house, especially in your private domain. A lot of persons, sometimes they can be pretensive. Or
folks come to offer you assistance. Say, can I clean around your house for you? And for a time of the year, you think it's genuine, but sometimes that individuals come around, and the reason why is to see how vulnerable you are.
Yes, look at the outlook of your place, because they might have some information about you. As I was saying, the criminals do their background check on individuals as well, and They monitor you. Yeah, they monitor you. Most of the time, someone come to your place to commit a crime, they have been looking around for a while. They want to know the environment totally.
Checking your schedule.
Of course, so they're watching the time you leave home. And if you're leaving home again, that these are just simple, common tips. You would like to let your neighbor know. And again, it depends on who is your neighbor, because sometimes your neighbor is the one that you have to be most aware of. So you would let your neighbor know that you're leaving, and if they ask if they could throw an eye for you. Yeah. Again, your house, around Christmas we do a lot of painting and renovations and so.
Yeah.
You don't want to leave tools and equipment around that can lead to aiding someone in entering your property.
Especially if they have it's kind of costly, you don't want to leave these kind of equipment and tools around.
I think, for instance, the back of your house might be an area that is quite secluded, and so, but it might be high, yes, tall, a lot of feet above the ground, but you pin the back of your house and you leave the ladder there. And a lot of times we don't want to leave the entire house locked up, because you see the back of the house high, nobody can come in there, and you leave that window open, but you leave the ladder, so it's an easy access for a thief. Things like that. You want to make your house appear as if someone is always at home, so you might tend to leave a light on. At times, you might leave a little music playing, not loud to disturb the neighbors, because again, around Christmas we know a lot of persons apply for permission to use speakers and or amplified songs, and we give permission, but remember, in this permission we have clauses and conditions, and so one of these conditions is that you play the music moderately, so it doesn't disturb persons who are not a part of your event. Yes, there would be disturbance, but let it be to a moderate, less effective level, and we encourage that. Around this time, persons who get permission, monitor the event, and ensure that the as we say, the DJs don't violate the terms and conditions of the agreement. Again, we want to speak a little about more to the equipment that you leave. Say, for instance, we speak about the ladder, we're speaking about things like the drills and so on. You
may feel, well, it's in my property, so it's probably
you leave
okay.
it in the veranda and you have power in it. They can easily unscrew your locks, easily unscrew something that can gain them access to the inside of your property. Let's speak a little bit about our children, because we want to touch
I mean, actually, let's stick a pin there for a wee bit. Actually, we drew for a break. Let's take it when we come back, and I'll be getting to that topic line with Trin, because that's certainly going to be an important conversation we could have this morning, especially with youngsters around this time of the year, parents leaving them at home and so forth. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we should chat about that. Stay with us, folks. It's To The Point here on Classic Radio GBN TV. We'll be right back.
For a limited time, the NLA has dropped all of the 2X balls from the multi-X draw. This means that you, our valuable players, have greater chances of multiplying your winnings up to 5 times more in our 2X drop promotion. Yay! And that's not all. As an additional bonus, there will be fewer free play or FP balls to draw from too. Now you have more reasons to add multi-X to your playway bets. So, value your dreams, win your way, and multiply your winnings up to 5 times more in the NLA's 2X Dropped promotion. This promotion is extended to Saturday, December 30th, 2023. Must be 18 years or older to play. NLA, making your dreams come true.
Whoa, whoa. Rock the box, we say, yeah. GBN, we say, arts and culture living, yeah. Rock the box, we say. I'm telling you, rock the box, rock the box, rock the box, we say. I'm telling you, rock the box, rock the box, rock the box, we say. We'll be jamming here on a Thursday. It's a
Compliments of the season. I'm Stacia Blake, one of GBN's nightly news anchors. On behalf of the entire GBN family, I'd like to wish you and your family a safe and prosperous holiday season. Here at GBN, it's been our honor to present to you the events that have affected our nation, celebrating our triumphs and mourning our collective challenges, right along beside you. And it's our intention to continue to bring you the nation's #1 newscast in 2024. This season, let's be grateful for all of our many blessings and continue to dream of a brighter future for all. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, Grenada.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. With me this morning, of course, we have the is it the Community Relations Department this morning?
Yes, it is.
And we're talking a lot this morning, of course, around this time of the year. And of course, we also spoke a whole lot this morning about safety tips, especially around your home. We plan to get into the issue of children and how parents should monitor and think the do's and don'ts in terms of permitting the youngsters in terms of around this time of the year. Give us some of the tips that you would like to share with parents in terms of their children. We know that sometimes the parents become a bit lenient because they think school is on vacation and so forth. You may leave your sons and daughters unattended because you have to run out. But there are things that you should and shouldn't do. I know you certainly have some information you'd like to share with parents relating to that this morning.
Yes. So let us start with shopping with kids. Yeah. So first, teach your kid or your child. I don't like to use the word. Teach your child, to go to a store clerk or security guard or some reputable person, a police officer, should in case they get separated from you during shopping. We know, as we've been going to the business places, we know that, the volume of persons inside of the various supermarkets and other business places, it tend to be, so much overwhelmed for the manager and staff, management and staff of the various places. Someone can easily get lost during Christmas shopping, a child in particular. So teach them, to report to the store clerk. Should in case you get separated from me, you go to the store clerk and just tell her that your mother name is X, Y, or Z, or you're here with me and stuff, so they can make some announcement or get to the police to contact me. Give your child a contact number. Put a contact number in your child pocket or so on, should in case they get separated from you. Or you can do the old trend thing that we say, name tagging. Yeah, you put a name tag on
youngsters may not like that idea, as back in the day it was probably a thing that young parents may have done, but youngsters may not like this. But youngsters these days they walk around with gadgets also. And it's time that parents maybe could teach their sons or daughters, hey, this is how you use a telephone for the particular reason, not only to play the game and stuff like that, but you probably could take your time to teach them how to use the telephone, especially for emergency purpose. I have gotten lost, maybe I can call my mom or call my dad, or call the police, or able to tell, as you said, go into a store, speak to the store clerk or the store owner and say, hey, this is my mom or dad's number, give them a call, I am lost for every reason. Once they have that nature which they can explain themselves to a point.
Of course. Again, we want them to, if possible, and we don't want to take away the joy from Christmas, but if possible, and you're going to shop, you can leave, if you have someone responsible at home, you can leave that child at home when going shopping. Yes, because when you shop around Christmas again, it's extra about the amount of packages and bags that you have to carry.
You don't want to worry about having to look after that son or daughter with you.
And we say you can leave that child at home if there is someone responsible. So again, we want to come back and say, do not leave children at home, poorly supervised or unsupervised. Yes? And that is something that we don't want to get a call. Christmas Day or Boxing Day or sometime during the season to say that a child is left at home and the child falling down the place, or the child fall off the back veranda, or fall into the swimming pool, or start a fire or something like that.
Parents' negligence there again, right?
Do not leave children in vehicles unsupervised. Yes, we always speak about these things, and unfortunately, we get complaints about those things. So do not leave children in vehicles unsupervised. So you leave a child in the vehicle, and you say, okay, the child, most time you leave the child in the vehicle, you leave the vehicle unattended to, because you don't want the child to burn up in the sun, so you leave the AC on, the keys in the ignition, and the vehicle unlocked. So again, do not leave children in vehicles unsupervised. And we speaking generally here, we do not want to see, parents, having the young ones attending adult event in this season. There's too much daycare or night care or care facility around the place for you to be going to those major events, those big events with your little child, exposing them to danger and harm.
Or maybe if you do want to attend the event and there's no one to take care of that son or daughter, cancel going to the event.
Cancel
going to the event.
Cancel. So we were speaking about the safety for the children. And again, do not leave things like matches and lamps and candles exposed so that children can, play with them. We know Christmas, yes, you decorate your place, you put up your fancy curtain, and so, some people want to get so romantic. They like the nice scented candles and so. And you leave the curtain flying, the windows open, and the curtain fly over the candle.
And fire starts.
Yes, or you leave the match exposed, the child playing with the match, or may not be only match, but in recent times, I've had persons come to me and ask for assistance in getting, fire reports and so. And when you listen to the cry, the children was playing with some what we say, how we call them again, the explosive devices, and
firecrackers
and so, and they throw one into they don't see where it go, next thing you know, the house on fire. And those things, we have to be very conscious and cognitive about that. We cannot take it for granted that, yes, we want the children to have fun. As we say, we don't want to be the Grinch in Christmas. So we want the children to have fun, but at the same time, we have to be very mindful that it's our duty to protect our major investments and so on. Our children, first and foremost, our home, which is a major investment. You don't find, as small as the house might be, whether it's made of galvanized and pallets, it's over $1,000 in cost. And there's more value to a home than just the actual cost. The mere fact that you would have lived, there, spend most of your time, your comfort, all those things.
The memory of it and so forth.
Yeah, sometimes it goes as far back as your great-grandparents and so on. So let us protect our valuable assets and be very cognitive and do all that we can to protect it. All right. Again, we speak about children, I want to touch a little bit about, the fire safety for this season. Something associated with Christmas again is the lighting, the nice, beautiful lights that you have, and so. And we want to speak generally. Generally, we wouldn't start with the lights, but let us speak generally. So we say avoid leaving lit lamps or candles unsupervised. Generally, yes. So if you light the lamp or the candle before you go to bed, before you fall asleep, you turn it off, you blow it off. Yeah. All right, so as we say, I said before, keep matches, lighters, and burning candles out of the reach of children. Do not overload your sockets during holiday season. You want to plug in the lights, you still want to have the television on, the stereo playing, and you want to trim your hair at the same time. So you have several things in this one socket, overloading the socket.
Right. Probably could get a little bit of technical advice. Could I do this or that?
And you may be an expert in this field, so you can speak about that. Yeah. So you want to inspect all electrical cords before using. Yeah, so you look for loose connections or frayed or exposed wires. So and then again, if you observe that, then you want to discard any defective cords. Read the labels and manuals and instruction so that you can use it properly. Yeah. So again, you want to put on your lights, but the lights been around for so long, and then again you fold it up. You fold up the lights,
and it's been stored for a period of time.
Yes, and it's
so before you use it again, make sure you get some advice, or if you have the knowledge yourself, maybe you can inspect it. Make sure there are no, as you mentioned, no broken ones, or if there are bulbs that are missing from it and so forth. Mm-hmm. That could also lead to a bit of a short circuit from time to time. So you may want to have that repaired before you use them again, especially when you pack it, when you take it to them away after Christmas. You have a tendency to focus on it and you just roll them up together. And that's always not really the best way of putting up storage. You understand?
Exactly.
Not always the best way.
You want to insert plugs fully into outlets. Yeah. So we know poor connection may cause overheating or shock. Yeah, so the poor connection may cause overheating or shock. So make sure that, we sometimes we just tip it in. And
using the appropriate outlet also. Folks have the tendency of, using a plug, and we have that whole way of folks wanting to do. Let's use a screwdriver or a piece of stick and touching up the ground part of it and want to plug in. Don't encourage that. Get the proper plug in and the proper plug or adapter that you can use to fit the plug you have.
Again, we have a next one. We say so to avoid possible overheating, do not coil or bunch any extension cord which is in use, and do not run it under the carpet or rug. So sometimes, we want to make the place look so neat.
Yeah.
We say, okay, let's pass it under the rug or under the carpet. We cannot, have time detect that a fire is, or something, or why it's broken or so. So from the time it start burning the carpet, and the fire is out of control before you recognize.
Because sometimes you're walking in that same carpet that electrical source of wire is under. Mm-hmm. It's typically not a good idea. Not a good idea.
All right, so do not use indoor sockets or indoor, lights or those things that was meant for inside or outdoors. Yeah. Again, one might be waterproof, and the other sometimes as the rain fall on it, it causes a fire or something. So you have to be very, aware of those situations.
All right.
Turn off all trees and display lights before retiring to bed. Yeah. So, or before leaving the house. We advise that. Some people leave on the lights right through. And then again, we're not saying that you cannot leave it on. We're advising that you turn it off. Not for a number of reasons. Again, if you've been in a position to inspect your lights and so or your decorations and so fully and regularly, then it may be okay that you can do that. But remember that the socket where it is plugged might one day get hot and cause a fire, overheat. Yes.
All right.
Yeah. So these are just some of the tips that we have, to share with you about these things that can lead to a fire around this season. Again, people, they do the baking, they boil the ham, they leave it on the fire for an extensive period. A lot of people, they're really tired around this time because a lot of hours spent, cleaning and decorating, and then for the Christmas you want to bake, so you put the cake in the oven and you say you will take a 5 minutes rest. And the next thing you hear is an explosion.
So you turn it off, and when you go to take that rest, you got up. Maybe then you could certainly continue what you are doing in terms of putting back on the stove or turning back on the oven or something sort like that.
Yes.
I want this another put a conversation I want to get before our next break. Around this time of the year, folks, they're home, they're entertaining themselves. For some reason, music are playing. They want. What does the police feel about, or what kind of advice we'd like to give to individuals, especially in terms of loud music around this time of the year? Because we understand folks may live in a close-knit, so of course wherever they live could be close-knit. Your neighbor who may not be able to absorb that loud song that you be making because of the music you're playing. What kind of advice you'd like to give to individuals who are planning on doing that? What kind of advice you want to show to them this morning?
Okay, well, generally, and not only around season, this thing GT is not only seasonal for the police. It's something that we think that we can attack or address more aggressively. The laws are there in place, and I believe that a lot more can be done in this area. What we find happening is that we become very selfish as individuals. I'm not speaking as a police officer, but I'm speaking generally. As individuals within the society, people tend to become much more selfish. As we say, socialization now. If you see everybody want to be personal.
Yes.
And everybody, if people do get a chance, every household would have their own music sets turned up, and it would be chaotic.
And they would, like, if they want to compete against each other.
Exactly. And then again, so that's why in our laws we have, these guidelines. So even if you are granted permission to play amplified sounds, as I said before, there would be conditions attached to that permission that you're granted, and you have to remember that if you do not abide by those conditions, just imagine you have permission to play the amplified sounds and there are conditions attached, and if you do not go by those conditions, then your permission can be revoked and you can be charged. So what about those persons who do not have permission?
Yes.
Then they're in direct violation of the laws, and they can be charged. All times, I don't want to go into that, it's a bit too deep, but all the times they can be charged directly. Yes, there are different processes of charging somebody for under the Noise Pollution Act. So there are two ways they can be charged. The long process, whereby they be given notices and stuff, and the music confiscated and stuff.
And over a period of time, you continue doing it.
And then noise. You can go to the neighbors, go in the community and take statements from persons who are affected, and they can be witness to what we're saying about noise. So if the music is only disturbing you and you're the only one complaining, then it might be a little bit more difficult. But if the police visit the scene and observe the music playing,
no, the police is able to, of course, be a complainant also.
Yes.
For a point. All right. Come on, let me take a break. We're coming right back, folks. And, of course, we have much more to talk about. We also will entertain your phone calls. As we already get some calls, we will entertain your phone calls shortly. Stay with us, folks. We'll be right back. Don't touch your dial.
Served Grenada for decades. We are the #1 and largest electrical supplier.
Compliments of the season. I'm Stacia Blake, one of GBN's nightly news anchors. On behalf of the entire GBN family, I'd like to wish you and your family a safe and prosperous holiday season. Here at GBN, it's been our honor to present to you the events that have affected our nation, celebrating our triumphs and mourning our collective challenges, right along beside you. And it's our intention to continue to bring you the nation's #1 newscast in 2024. This season, let's be grateful for all of our many blessings and continue to dream of a brighter future for all. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, Grenada.
From the farm to the store to your home, supporting farmers, catering for your needs. The Food Fair Supermarket provides fresh fruits and vegetables from its 2 convenient locations for over 5 decades. The Food Fair Supermarkets, where you can fill your baskets without emptying your pockets.
That's not how you cross the pedestrian crossing.
Really? One day I just woke up and I saw pedestrian crosswalks on the road. No one really showed me how to use them properly.
Well, this is how it's done. You never cross before doing these things. They might save your life. First, when you get to the crosswalk, you stop. You look left, you look right. If there's a vehicle coming, you put your hand out, making eye contact with the driver, indicating that you want to cross. And only when the vehicle comes to a complete stop, you quickly cross to the other side.
Stop. Look.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers, to the point here, Classic Radio, GBN TV. And we're talking this morning. Our conversations seem to be generalized in lots of ways that you can protect yourself around this time of the year. The do's and don'ts around this time of the year. We spoke a whole lot when we started off this morning. Safety tips in terms of managing your home, your personal possession. We spoke about ways, of course, you can protect your children. We spoke a wee bit about noise pollution and so forth. And I see we do have a caller. Let's entertain this first caller before we continue. Has been calling for a wee bit. Caller, good morning, welcome. Caller, you may have to lower your radio before we continue, so you may have to get that radio lowered and call us back. And I think sometimes we just can't accept that all the time. Let's take another call. Caller, good morning, welcome.
Hello.
Good morning. Go right ahead, please.
Yes. I called in connection with the noise syndrome. The word syndrome may be the best word to describe it. I don't know how much the police is sensitive to the inconvenience and the suffering of people in the neighborhood when reckless lawbreakers blast out music any hour of the day and any hour of the night. And we must bear in mind that the type of, what should I say, the type of methodology and technology used in this emission of sound is very sophisticated. Somebody may have a small instrument and it can blast out music. And these DJs, they try to give the loudest they can give. And sometimes when you call the police, what the police usually say, they have permission. But paragraph 2 in the promise says, the noise should be so controlled as not to disturb the peace and tranquility of the neighborhood. But the police often ignores that and lets the lawbreakers go ahead as long as they may have permission to, whereas people in the neighborhood, residential neighborhood, cannot sleep. In fact, even in vehicles, the noise in vehicles can actually lift you on the road. Why is that so? Some vehicles, the silencers are removed. Some motorbikes, the silencers are removed. And the throttles are opened 100%. Something is not right. Something is not right. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. And it's not the first time I'm hearing this caller, complaining about noise for a wee bit. I've been GBN for a wee bit, and most time we do complain about. And
the caller, GT, the caller is so correct. Yeah, as I said before, even if you have permission, but there's conditions, attached to that permission that you should, comply with, and in failure to do that, then that permission can be revoked or action can be taken against you. We are aware about conditions with motor vehicles as well, and I know that the traffic department is working quite hard in terms of trying to control the situation. But we always find that among our midst, we have those that would deviate from, what is expected, and so, without them, then there would be no need for the police. But again, we would not stop, we would not sleep on this issue, but it's something that we would continue to address and to work towards remedying. Yeah.
All right. Maybe I could probably ask, would we see a strong enforcement level in 2024? I mean, it's always been spoken about, but I think that's one of the main concerns. The enforcing of those laws seem to be a cause for concern.
I I do hope that enforcement generally would step up and in terms of the noise pollution, I do look forward to seeing an increase in the in compliance, an increase in compliance firstly, and if not, then we would see an increase in persons being brought before the court. A lot of times, GT, as I said, RGPF rely quite heavily on our population, our communities to help us in addressing situations. And so when we have societies where one person call the station and complain, it seems sometimes as if, it's sort of,
it's a personal between that one individual. But nobody else is complaining.
We're encouraging, persons in the various communities to call out and come and address your situation to the station in the area where this disturbance is caused. And so, the police can have a more fair idea, as to,
how serious of a nature of a problem that is occurring. So on. We do have another caller. Let's entertain another caller. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Good morning, sir. Season's greetings to you.
Good morning.
Hello, I see season's greetings to you.
Good morning, caller. Season greetings to you also.
Okay. I'm listening to your programs, and Christmas holiday and season is for each and everybody. But the people who is going to collect like the little family money, like in the transaction place like MoneyGram, Western Union, and other places. And it also have so much lightering around them things around these government places like the transaction place. Because now in the season, everybody just coming close to see who is going to collect the little things from MoneyGram and the Western Union, and that might still cause that problem because he or she go come and get some money from the credit union or MoneyGram, and this person might lighten them and thing, like monitor and follow them and thing, and that they will get kidnapped. They will take the money or try to hold them up to take the little money. So all that including in the Christmas season too. So and I wanted to say to them, please to protect the self-values who is going and get the little things from the credit union and the transaction place. Have a good season, Christmas.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Relatively, it's as simple as it sounds. Is important.
Very important. Very important. GT, I don't want to forget to mention about vehicles.
Yes.
We have to touch on vehicles and pre-deal larceny. Again, let me use this opportunity to remind persons, going to events, that you should, to avoid your vehicles from being stolen, yes, you should always close your windows and doors properly. Ensure that your windows are properly right up. Do not leave a space. That space can be, a space used to pick your lock and to enter the vehicle. Your doors, again, ensure that the doors are properly locked and closed. A lot of times you find, you go to an event with multiple persons in a vehicle, and one person might tend to forget the glass down. As the driver, your responsibility is to ensure that the vehicle is properly secure before you leave that vehicle. Sometimes you go into the show and as you park, you hear the big artist coming on stage. So coming on stage, it sizzles like a lunch, and you run out of the vehicle,
forgetting that you didn't.
Yes, just close your door, and you might leave a light on, or sometimes you forget the window down, and you do not secure the vehicle properly. When you return, the vehicle is broken into because you allow, access to that vehicle and stuff. Again, do not leave valuable items exposed in clear sight within your vehicle. Some people tend to leave their laptop. They come out to work, or they use their laptop they have a laptop that they use to do, work in the vehicle, and they leave it in the front seat. On the passenger seat exposed with a cell phone and sometimes cash, or even, jewelry. And so do not leave those things exposed within clear view in your vehicle. It's something that would create or tempt somebody wanting to commit a crime, and they wanting to thief or to break your vehicle, to steal from you, and they might just use that opportunity to do that. Yeah, don't leave the vehicle running. Like you say, leave it idling and step out of the vehicle to go to do something close by and say like, okay, I just leave the vehicle running there to collect a roti by that man and somebody go with the vehicle. That's the opportunity for somebody to move with your vehicle as well. Never park next to large vehicles or vehicles with heavy tinted windows. You can't tell. You know, if it's me, I would think that something is suspicious. So you're parking well-lit areas again. I know it's difficult for everybody to get a park in a well-lit area, but you try to park, in an area where you wouldn't, where somebody wouldn't want to take the chance to break into your vehicle. Again, when you're park in an area where you wouldn't also be causing any obstruction to the traffic, or be parked in a position likely to cause obstruction, because sometime at the time no vehicle is coming, so it wouldn't be causing obstruction. But in the event that it's a two-way street, two vehicles supposed to be able to pass freely up and down, and you park, do not double park. A lot of times you find people come and they double park. Yes?
That is becoming a serious problem on the nation's road these days. In the option of double parking, people parking and causing obstructions.
Yes.
And sometimes I wonder if individuals are thinking that they are causing obstructions. Can they ever park and seem to be?
I remember
have no care.
I remember
they're causing obstruction.
I remember the days when the record used to be in full effect, and I guess it's because people think that okay, the officer might just rest a ticket on the windscreen and so, or they mightn't see me, or the inconvenience might be just for a short period, then they take the chance. But it's something that it's in our laws, and we should people who, it's just like somebody looking for a job, GT. They would agree with every term and condition that you have, and then when they get the work, they put up that resistance. I don't give them my number.
I don't say the complacency steps in.
Because they would give you the cell phone number. You can contact them as they get the job. You can contact them. They change your cell phone number. They don't want to work on a Sunday. Now they put in terms and conditions to you. It's similar. You read the highway code. You go to do your driving exams. You pass the exams because yes, we really recognize that you know what's in the code. So after getting your license is the time when you're supposed to put what you know into practice. And so we the police shouldn't have to be down your back, and it shows a lot. It speaks volume about the nature of our people and the kind of people that we are. They say the traffic situation in our country would tell you about the level of law or lawlessness in that country. So I don't want us to be going down that road, but I want everybody to do what they know they're supposed to do, and let us not have a problem. Again, the issue, we're speaking about pre-dual produce here, and around the Christmas season, we know that everybody wants to have a variety on their table for Christmas. So they want to have the little, the staples and so on, and the vegetables, and so they tend to, once the demand for something increase, then there must be the supply.
Culprits will, of course, want to supply you.
Yes, and what tends to happen is that we don't want people buying from the wrong set of people. Again, we're not only looking at the consumers, but we're looking at the vendors as well. We're looking at the people with the supermarkets, and we know that there are policies in place. When you go to a supermarket, you go to one of the wholesale places to sell produce, then you should have a vendor's license, a farmer's ID, sorry. But what happens is that sometimes it becomes compromised when you have farmers purchasing from persons who steal, and that can be something dangerous, because
lots of people don't want to follow these procedures from time to time.
Yeah,
somebody is making something available that I want, so they feel I just go through the process of purchasing it. But you're saying that is wrong.
What I'm saying is that knowingly, that individual, does not have a farm, or he does not have the ability to produce on that kind of level or scale, and you purchase from him.
Yes.
Yes, so you encourage it. And then again, you might be a farmer. You know, farmers purchasing from persons who go to steal from other farmers, and we asking farmers to look out for each other. You look out for each other. So fully utilize the pre-deal larceny, hotline to report any suspicious activity. We want citizens again to encourage. We want to encourage you to report persons who purchase pre-deal produce. Farmers, again, we want to encourage you, as I say, we want to reiterate on this, to look out for each other. Yeah, employ technology, not because it's a farm. We would encourage you to employ technology. You can set up cameras, you can have what we say outside of the technology. You can have the farmers farm watch. Have the police, we know the pre-deal larceny unit, they have a great task. I must say that, so much farms and, the resources that they have, though limited, they are doing quite well. Although we believe that they can do more. But we want to encourage, this partnership. Farming and farmers is not a one-man thing, but it's a cohesive thing. Yes, farmers are encouraged to share information among themselves. Information about if somebody is stealing corn in that area, you tell the next farmer, so you all can set up maybe a stakeout or something, or look out for each other. Yeah, and things like that.
And also you can also inquire with the police about methods and stuff that they can help to improve their surveillance also.
Of course. So we want you to tag your farm animals. We know that, well, GT, there are some persons, going around and stealing goats and stuff. They have to be very careful about that. We know that in recent times, a lot of persons, give the animal this medicine, and they say if you consume the meat before a certain time, it can be detrimental. And we want people purchasing the meat and stuff for Christmas to purchase from a reputable person. And we say reputable because it's only reputable.
You may not know that person is a butcher. I never knew. Sherwin is a butcher, but he's selling meat. So why would I be going and purchase from him?
Mm-hmm. Again. So know what you're doing. Be aware, and we are looking out for you. Just remember, within the police force, we have different departments and organizations, and we are responsible for law enforcement totally. So we have the fire department. We're responsible for fire. We have our electrical unit, so they are responsible for electrical stuff within the police force. It's not just only electrical, but we refer to them as the IT unit. The electrical fall under the IT unit. So we have cobblers, we have, yes, we have mason or artisan squad and stuff. We have carpenters. So we are responsible for quite a lot. And as a police officer, your duty is to know a little of everything. Because you want to you want to be able to give your customer, and I say customer because we providing a service, and we want to give our customers information that can be useful to them, so that they can do things to protect themselves. And I'm saying that we want to be proactive, because at the end of the day, if a crime is committed, we still have to use resources to go out there and fight that crime. We have to be able, we're supposed to be able to go out there to serve and to protect and to retrieve and to prevent. But the most important thing is to prevent. All right. Because we don't want you to come in the new year and you lose your major investment that you may not have an insurance for, also I'll be able to retrieve or get back some sort of benefit or money.
All right. I would say we've been thrown out a lot of advice this morning. Certainly hope our listening and viewing audience take heed to it, and of course put them into practice. That's the most important. Put them into practice. Any final bit you want to throw out before we take up this morning?
Yes, I just want to say to the listeners and viewers out there that yes, the RGPF, we want to thank the general public for their continued support throughout the years, and we look forward for your continued support in the new year and beyond. again, we want to wish each and every one of you out there a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And we're looking forward for greater things and to continue to serve you, the members of the public, in a big and bold way.
All right. I want to thank you also for popping in and sharing information this morning. It was definitely fruitful information. Certainly hope it goes out to who really need this advice, will absorb it and make proper use of it. I want to thank you once again, and season greetings going out to you and your family and the rest of the force. Certainly hope everyone has an enjoyable Christmas.
All right, thanks.
All right. Hey, folks, that's how we take a wrap for today's program. Join me again tomorrow for another edition of To The Point. Have yourself a good one, folks. That's why I say goodbye.